the records. Any second to that? Second, any objection? There being none. Comcheck, you're duly instructed to please strike out that word.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secondly, hindi po basketball ito. Yung mga miro nang nag-aaway, yung mga players, kalmante lang po. Sana hindi na maulit yun. Salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, just a...
Congressman Adyong, I'll just give Attorney Degra a minute. I think he's been raising his hand.
Yes,
but before I recognize you, Attorney, can you kindly turn off the mic of the former President para lang hindi tayo nag-aagawan dito ng... Yes, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At the outset, I'm here among the resource persons because I was invited to be one of the resource persons, mainly, as mentioned earlier, as an item in the administrative matter, to explain the circumstances of the two letters that we sent to the Quadcom on behalf of the President. So I am also not only a resource person here, but also acting as the legal counsel of the former President. That said, we have reviewed the agenda item for the 11th joint public hearing. And I hope we will be able to put things in context insofar as how the proceedings have gone through until now. And I noticed that insofar as what has been going on for the last 9 hours, this would only be limited to item 4, 5, and 6 in relation to the alleged in the Philippine campaign against during the previous administration. That said, Mr. Chair, we would like to be clarified because this is a legislative inquiry in aid of legislation. May we know what proposed legislation is being set on the table for the committee to consider and for the resource person to contribute their valuable inputs, if any, so that we can avoid incidents like what we just saw earlier, so that it will be meaningful, intelligent, accurate, and hopefully not accusatory in character.
Yeah,
so
actually,
that it will be positive.
Yes.
And as I've said, meaningful discussion, so that we'll be able to come up with effective legislations, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Actually, with regards to your point, Attorney Degra, 2, or if not I'm mistaken, 3 bills have already been filed with regards to the Quadcom hearing. Isa po dyan, may kinalaman sa forfeiture of illegally acquired properties, 1. Number 2, may kinalaman po sa EJK. At saka yung pangatlo po, may kinalaman po sa heinous crime. So, these investigations being conducted by the Quadcom has actually brought about a lot of legislation already. Other than that, our members are also looking into amendments of existing laws so that we can strengthen the institutions and the agencies by which the government operate in. Other than that, mapapansin po natin just very recently, naglabas po ang administrasyong ng ating Pangulo ng EO para sa implementation ng total ban sa Pogo. So, with that being said, Attorney Degra, Congressman Adyong.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just like to ask Senator De Lima, are you comfortable in your seat, Senator? Because earlier when there was a small incident commotion, I saw you froze for a bit. Are you comfortable in your seat? We can transfer you if you want.
I'm not comfortable, but I can stay here.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just concerned with our...
I'm not afraid at all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm just saying that, you know, for a little bit, I think you froze.
Salamat po. Salamat.
Just concerned.
Thank
you,
you.
Mr. Chair. Thank you, Senator.
Congressman
Mr. Chair,
yes, Chairman Benny.
I cannot help but say this, no. I'm a little bit insulted by the statement of Atty. Delgra. You know, is he trying to question this committee on the pieces of legislation that we are trying to prepare? Mr. Chair, I'd like to find out because it seems to me, Mr. Chair, that he does not actually believe in what we're trying to do. Now, Mr. Chair, Atty. Delgra, my committee, the Human Rights, have at least 5 bills that ought to be filed. And it is not our duty to tell you what those bills are, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Chairman Benny. We do take note of your observation, and I hope our resource persons will be a little bit more prudent when it comes to the comments that they will be eliciting in this hearing. Next on our list is Congressman Adyong. Yes, Congressman Adyong.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Maayong gabi, Mr. President. Kabalo ko, allow me to first speak in Bisaya. Kabalo ko, murag gikapoy na ta kay sugod tag kaninang buntag. So, I will be very, very brief, Mr. Chair, in my clarificatory questions, Mr. Chair. Just allow me to thank the former President for gracing the invitation of this Quad Committee and for generously responding to the questions and for being candid with his responses, with his answers. Earlier, Mr. Chair, I noticed former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo was also joined this committee hearing, although briefly. And we also have the current Vice President in our midst. This is a rare occasion, Mr. Chair. It only speaks about the importance of the matter that is being discussed by the committee, that top officials of our land, 2 former presidents, were present in this discussion. It only speaks about the gravity and the seriousness and the importance of what we are discussing right now, Mr. Chair. So allow me also to, at least to premise my clarificatory questions, because some of the questions that I would like to ask to our guest speakers, guest resource persons have already been asked by some of my colleagues here, and I don't want to labor on those questions. But let me just premise my clarificatory questions. I would like respectfully, if the former president would indulge me with his responses, on the premise that I believe there are certain basic rules, no, that one has to follow, especially for government officials such as ourselves.